Hi everybody, this is Pete with Old City Press and Letterpressinc.com. Today I'm going to talk to you about a common question we get, which is which ink should I use? Should I use rubber-based ink or oil-based ink for letterpress printing? So I want to go over the two different types of inks today, and what I have on the press is I have oil-based ink on this side, I have rubber-based ink on this side. We'll run a few prints and I'll take some pictures and show you the differences of them. So, okay, alright, first, rubber-based ink. Rubber-based ink is the ink that we primarily use here. And the reason why is we like the flexibility to it. Rubber-based ink doesn't dry to air contact, it just tacks up. So what that means is that if I'm printing a long run, I can leave the ink on a press overnight or for a couple days or 3 or 4 days. Or if I'm printing multiple projects that require, say, black, right? It's not uncommon. We have black in this machine for 4 or 5 days at a time because we're printing 4 or 5 different orders with it, right? We love it because of that, right? It allows us a little more time. And the fact that we're in a commercial shop, so someone comes in off the street, they want to talk to us, I don't have to freak out because the ink is going to dry in the machine, right? So for those reasons, we love rubber-based ink overall. And the one caveat to it is you can only use it on uncoated paper. Uncoated paper being like cotton paper, so like the Crane, Savoy, Holyoke, or French paper line. Those are the ones that you wouldn't want to use with it because what it does is it's absorbing into the paper, right? It absorbs very quickly, so it's not like you have to wait. So say we're printing a 2-color print and we do 1 color on this side, I can literally take that over to another Vandercook or other number 4 and print the 2nd color. It's that quick, right? You don't have to wait or anything, so it absorbs very quickly, it dries very quickly. The only time you have to really kind of wait is if you're doing like a large knockout area. So on this poster here, we did the background, and it's a pretty full bleed on there, right? It's a pretty big area on there. We did let this sit overnight before we printed the 2nd color for that. So we probably could have printed the 2nd color, but I didn't want to. Oh, look what I did! I didn't want to challenge it. I thought, you know, we have time to do this. We have the space to put the posters, so let's just take our time and do that. Overall, so that's why we like rubber-based ink. So okay, now oil-based ink. Oil-based ink for us primarily is metallic inks. So you think of your gold, your silver, or your neons. All oil-based ink, right? Based on the pigments that are in them. So if you're using that, you have to use an oil-based ink. If you've ever had a can of ink, like an old can of ink, or you buy a can of ink online and you take off the top and it's hard, right? That's because it's an oil-based ink. It's drying on you, right? So that's how you know if you're like, I don't know if this is oil or rubber-based. When you take the lid off, you have to actually break through the crust to get to the ink, then you have an oil-based ink overall. So, but the one thing that's good about oil-based inks is it gives a little more of a glossy type finish. Rubber-based ink is a matte finish. For uncoated paper, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, right? So the cotton papers, right, like a Crane, a Savoy, you're not going to really tell a difference. Very seldom people will, and I'm kind of hoping to show that on this when we do the print today. But if somebody wants a glossy type paper, so it's not uncommon. We get a bride that comes in and you know, and they have to have this glossy type paper they found at paper source. We have to use oil-based ink to print on it, right? It dries pretty quickly. It works. It looks amazing still. But that's just the route we have to go. So that's the one time we do use it internally. Or on this poster, like if we should have probably used, if you're like a poster person and you want to like crush those out, then the background you probably want to consider maybe like an oil-based ink for that kind of stuff, you know, because you can use you know, different paper. So posters sometimes are all over the house, right? So you can do like maybe the poster may have a glossy finish to it, right? And so you'd want to use oil-based ink for that, right? So it's just something to keep in mind for there. So that's the two differences in them. All right. So what I'd like to do is let's get to the test here, right? So again, this side is oil-based, this side is rubber-based ink, and we have just a design that I created from a polymer workshop here. All right, let's fire this thing up, let it go for a second. All right, and then I think I have the paper already lined up, ready to go. I have not pre-run this, so I may have to fix a couple things, but not a big deal. All right, so that's the first print. So the E side is the oil-based ink, right? So I'm just gonna set a couple of these down here, and we'll go through and just do a few different prints. Just to give you an idea of what it's like. The paper I'm using is uncoated paper. It's cotton paper, so it's just 118-pound Savoy paper on here. So just for the purposes. So you can see on here, and I'm not going to line up or anything, but you can touch it. It's not. There's no. Right. I'm not worried about. I mean, I guess if I smudge really hard on it, there might be some ink to it. Actually, let's just try it. Yeah, like so there is some ink coming off on it there a little bit, but best because I just ran and it's a big letter, right? But generally speaking, you could print these, set these down on top of each other. Not really that big of a deal. Or take them for the second print if you have a second color. If you have another machine lined up, right? So normally you would put them out. I mean, you could stack them on top of each other. Sometimes I do like I'll lay one down, and then when I print the second one, I'll stack it so it gives it at least like 10 seconds. It's not that big of a deal. Another one. And let's do this. What I'd like to do is, and I'll take some pictures to show here. Let's kind of just move this one over a little bit. So what you would notice on here, though, is you can see, and I'll take some pictures, is that this side over here, the oil-based side, it is a little darker, right, than the rubber-based side overall. And what that means, and they're both neutral black, so what that means is that, it could be that I need more ink on this side. It could be that this side is just getting a little more of an impression to it, right? So I'd have to take some tweaks to do that, which I will do, but I'll take some, I'll fix it, and I'll take some more comparable shots to show you that. Overall. So, okay. All right. Well, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can leave comments on YouTube. You can send us an email. You can subscribe. We do, a couple of videos a week overall. So, well, thank you so much and have a good day.